dark, but somehow the green screen's still doing its thing, so I'm cool with it. Fixes a lot of things. Doesn't it also do some like quality of life stuff? Actually like add content. Did they make a new class? Wasn't there a guy not too long ago who actually made a full-on new class for Borderlands 2? Like it looks like Zero. It looks exactly like Zero, but he was actually able to add like his own skills. The guy made a new class. I wonder how the hell that works, because that is so cool. I would love to see more content like that. Like just being able to throw together a class in the code and just try it out would be freaking dope. Yo, Vagna Gun! What up, Tyrell? Giving yourself that shout out. Are you gonna be around, Tyrell? Because after dinner break, after I go to dinner, we could go ahead and get back on the Apex grind if you'd like. If you're free this evening. I think I can probably hit my 2 goals today before dinner if I, you know, hustle a little bit. Yo. Hey. Watch out. Here we go. Vagna Go! Oh yeah, your bands. I'm guessing that's set to expire soon. Did you get some... Speaking of that, did you get some new batteries just in case? But, once I get back from dinner, do you want to play some Apex? I forgot the exact name. I mean, that'd be super cool. I only saw that, like, once, though, and I wish it became more of a modding feature. I would love to, like, design my own character and play other people's designs. How you get banned. This is a good story. Well, don't you not have batteries at all, though, for your controller? Because you told me you only had the 2 sets, so that would mean you don't have backup batteries for your own controller, right? Or does it recharge? Do you have rechargeable batteries? You should totally just buy a freaking wired controller or buy sets of rechargeable batteries for your Elite. The next time you get paid, just... They're rechargeable. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Okay, so either way then, once I get back from dinner break, which will probably be like 7 o'clock, I would predict you want to play some Apex. I mean, speaking of that, around 7 o'clock, that would probably be 24 hours since you're banned. They did a couple of mods. Thanks for being here. Tyrell's really good at games. We call him the Black Hammer for a reason. He's got good, funny commentary. He's a good dude. He's a personal friend of mine. Did a couple mods like Borderlands 2 Reborn and Borderlands 2. How does Borderlands Reborn work? Because I've seen like people playing the hell out of that. Like that's what we need on console. That's kind of what the Handsome Edition isn't, and it's what you need after playing this game as much as we all played it back in the day. It's like you just need something to change the formula up, you know? And I think that I would be having, because I know I love this game, and I know how much I loved this game. And I want to know why the magic isn't there as much. At least on this playthrough. That could change, and I really hope it does. But... There's Mothrak. There he is. I just want the magic back. I think, obviously, Borderlands 3 will have it, because that's a major rework, but... The idea that you could completely change it up on PC... This is the slowest elevator. I got a call, say that again. After I get back from dinner break, from the stream, do you want to play some Apex Legends together? It'll be probably around 7 o'clock my time, 6 your time. Probably 7:30. 7:30 my time. Yeah, alright, sweet. I'll try to hit some goals on here since we started the day here. I need to get the 100% quest achievement. I need to beat this playthrough and make some kind of strides in playthrough 2 that might be optimistic. But definitely beat the playthrough and do the 100% achievements. And I'll break for dinner and we'll play. Team on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Team break! My favorite mod is actually one that opens crates faster. Really? That's interesting. Yeah, see, little stuff like that would help a ton. Like being able to design your own class. Oh, hell yeah. And it'd be interesting too. It would just break it up. It would just break it up. Because, you know, as much as I love Borderlands, once you've played through the game 50 fucking times, which is what they ended up making us, you know, I'm a non-gibbed player on console. In order to get any of my gear, I had to run this campaign over and over and over again. And on Gauge, I've prestige Gauge like 5 times, or badass rank. Think of that. Think how much I had to play Gauge to prestige the fucking badass rank 5 times. Do all those challenges. You have to get like 90% of your challenges done in order to prestige. And that's just like natural gameplay. Most of the time, natural gameplay. Farming, because that's why I get so pissed at OP levels, because it's like, oh, you want me to run this campaign for the 80 millionth time. You know, it was probably like 75th time. That's at least how it felt. That number, I think, is actually realistic. Trying to get to this annex. I think I'm going the right way. 2A runs of the Scarlet DLC and tab for a perfect roll. Right. Right. Just trying to farm gear. Trying to get the perfect B. Trying to get the perfect double penetrating Unkept Herald. Over and over. And then, of course, if you have a unique item, you have to rerun the entire campaign. So you got to get multiple sets of those. You got to tab and alt. You got to alt. For us, you know, it's dashboard, quit the game, relogged. And it was 360, so everything was 10 times slower. The loads were slower. So much slower. Running was slower. The field of view was slower. That's maybe I'm excusing myself because it can be worrying with Borderlands 3 around the corner. The idea that, like, what if you don't love this game as much? But I still loved Borderlands 1. I mean, I know we streamed the shit out of Borderlands 1, and I still love this game, to be fair. But second favorite game of all time. It's got like big shoes to fill. You know, big shoes to fill, and so it's like, where's that thing that just like hooked me so hard when I played this back in the day? Maybe that had been gone for a while because OP levels got to be so obnoxious. Borderlands 2 on 360 pushed the system to its limits. Definitely. And you gotta think, like, again, not using gibbed on console and doing that shit that many times in a row. I remember being really hooked on this game, and then one day just never coming back to it again. Of course, here I am, so not never again quite, but I know a big part of it was Destiny. And I tried to go back for the pre-sequel. You know, we were all converting over to Destiny. But it was before Destiny. I remember just not playing this game anymore. Just finally hit that wall where, yeah, I still had kind of the goals in mind of maxing out everybody and seeing and doing everything, but the Headhunter packs looked really meh. And your playtime in the pre-sequel? I do, yeah, because I think my Wilhelm's almost level capped, and if I log on to pre-sequel, which we can do before I break to dinner, I've got like a bunch of characters, and they're all like fairly leveled. My Wilhelm's really high, but there's some other characters that are pretty damn high too. I played it quite a bit. I mean, I probably put 100, 200 hours in it, maybe, max. How about you, Adam? I remember, yeah, it gets boring. Do you remember, like, burning out on Borderlands 2 at one point? Maybe some of you had a similar experience. I know you talked about, like, hey, you were, like, maybe motivated to farm it out, Borderlands 2, when the level 80 came around. You're like, ah, fuck that, I'm just gonna give this out. I mean, for Borderlands, what I would want to do, definitely, if I had the option, is, you know, if we were a stream that was actually making some money, that would be a good game for me to transition over to PC gaming, to be honest with you. Just to have those kinds of options, especially if we're going to play it over a really long haul. Do 8 runs, I remember I couldn't beat Bunker for the longest time because if you slagged him too much, it made your game crash. Nice. I specifically remember playing this with my friends. This right here. And I remember I would play this and be like, I'm good playing this for the rest of the day. Like, this is fucking great to me. I'm just gonna sit here and do this. And now I'm like, a 100 hours or so. I got burned out after Tiny Tina DLC, then playing the peak and going. This is what I gotta do to get new max level. I don't know how many people played this game straight for almost 7 years now without taking a break. I don't know either. I think for me personally, I know a lot of people love Bunkers and Badasses. And I feel like a lot of people say that even though that DLC was solid. Because it's the one DLC you hear about all the time. People love to shit on the Hammerlock DLC. And I again feel like that's another DLC people shit on. Because they didn't actually play it. Because it is a solid DLC. Good one, I think. And Bunkers and Badasses has a lot that's really good with it. But it came at such a weird time in a weird place. I remember starting to feel like the burnout was there with Borderlands 2 with Bunkers and Badasses. Because I'd already leveled up a ton of characters. My buddy we'd always have Saturday night Borderlands. I was in college and I worked, and he's an electrician. We're not even friends anymore. This is Seth, but so we would have Saturday evenings, and he'd still stay the night and shit. And I just remember him passing out. Like every single time we'd play now, he'd fall asleep within like the first couple hours. And I remember specifically playing Bunkers and Badasses and just feeling like, dude, we're just going through the motions. Not saying it to him because I didn't want to admit it to myself, but it's like, I'm going through the motions right now. Had that been like the second DLC, it would have been fucking amazing. But it being the last DLC, and we were already at level cap. There was no new level cap that came with that one, if I remember correctly. Or we'd already like leveled up and already done all the work required and were at max level before we did the DLC. So I just remember going, like I say, going through the motions. I liked all the Borderlands 2 DLC, to be honest. Tiny Tina was so good because of all the RPG tropes. Being a guy who plays all the nerdy games like that, it was great to laugh at all the references. I was not against the Tiny Tina DLC. I'm just saying that I was kind of like getting done with the game at that point, and I didn't want to be. I also really fucking disliked that quest where you killed Elite Speak guy. That was some more Mr. Birch bleeding into the game. When you kill the FPS gamer, and he's just like this absolutely toxic asshole of a person. And it was more of that like meme jokes that started to infiltrate Borderlands really hard and get super stupid and tired, and also more of his kind of commentary. Did you like the dragons fight? It was okay. There was a lot of cool parts to Bunkers and Badasses. It was still a really good DLC. I'm just saying that I feel like it's the one where, you know, because everyone's like a Borderlands fan. There's only, very rarely do you meet somebody who actually dislikes Borderlands. And the first thing they'll tell you is like, what's your favorite DLC? They'll tell you Bunkers and Badasses. But almost without fail, these are the same people who really didn't play the game very much. I'm not saying that of something. I know you've played it a ton, but I'm talking about people I've met out on the, in the streets, in the road. Like, when I was a manager at the pizza shop, the #1 game to talk about was Borderlands. Because that was the one game that I knew that customers and employees could always relate to. That was the one that people played. And they would always tell me, oh yeah, Bunkers and Badasses. I really like that one. And they either hadn't actually beat that DLC, or they just had played the game and touched the DLC enough post-launch that that was the one that they could actually touch. Because, to be honest with you, a lot of players don't touch DLC, and I'm one of them. You just fall away from a game. Look at Anthem. If we hadn't gone and done the Cataclysms this week, I would have probably never logged on. That would have been it for me. If I allowed even more dust to strew on that game, hey, Chubby, on that game, I don't think I would have ever logged in, whether it became amazing or not. It just happens. You quit playing games. You want to. You don't want to quit on them. You want to come back to them, but it happens. And I feel like a lot of people came back because it's like, oh yeah, this is the big DLC. And Nox was a great DLC. And they probably played a few quests and thought, yeah, it's pretty good. But then didn't really, like, dig into it too hard. And that became the complex issue with Borderlands. Unique to Borderlands also, in my opinion. Because, like Ashton says, Borderlands brings everybody in. The casuals there, the hardcores there, the RPG guys there, the shooter guys there. Or gal, sorry. Them, they. It's are all there. It's are all there. And so you get this complex relationship because the hardcore was saying like, dude, the OP levels aren't working. The scaling is getting ridiculous. If you're on the 360 or you're on the PlayStation 3, the amount of time and farming and the amount of bullshit and the loops and hoops and jumps that you've got to do to even get into this stuff anymore is getting ridiculous. It is getting to be so fucking annoying. Because the essence of Borderlands 1 was gone, that you're a fucking Vault Hunter. You're supposed to be Borderlands' favorite word, badass. And I just wasn't getting, like, you know, that great feeling with Lilith, or when you finally build your brick out, or your any of those OG Vault Hunters, which you're supposed to be so much stronger than. You end up being pathetically weak, and you get into that really vicious loop that happens in role-playing games that made me loathe Fortnite and any other role-playing game I've ever played that entered into this loop, which is that you're only playing the game to get worse. You're effectively just going up in difficulties because the enemies get more health, the enemies do a lot more damage, but you stay the same even though you're grinding your ass off. I feel like in any game, any role-playing game, if you grind your ass off, the reward is you should stomp the shit out of stuff. And they're always like, well, you have to balance it because it has to be hard. You should have a challenge in there, but for those characters that grind their ass off, let them feel fucking strong. They need to know that they're strong because there is a lot of joy and pleasure as a gamer in that power fantasy, as they call it now. Like City Skylines, I like breaking it. There's parts of the Underdome, as awful as it is, that I kind of feel good at because I know I'm just absolutely destroying shit because I'm playing on the lower level stuff that Borderlands 2 refused to give you at the end of its life. Yeah, I understand that. That wasn't my favorite quest, but I was focused on the other stuff. That's what my friends did for the most part. Young, myself, and like 2 other people actually delved. A lot of people have only played to level 31, and that's it. Right. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Adam. That's, you and I are on the same page there. It's like a lot of people, like something for you, from what I can tell, is, you know, friends are really core to your gaming experience, and that changes it a lot. A bad game can be a good game with friends. And I've played a lot solo. So the gameplay has got to be, a bad game is just a bad game when you're alone, you know? Bunkers and Badasses was really, really good DLC. It was great DLC. Maybe the best DLC for Borderlands 2, arguably so, okay? I haven't played this latest DLC, that's why I say so. I'm just saying that it became this generic catch-all. And the problem I had with the generic catch-all is that it, you know, was ignoring all of these large points the more hardcore community was making, like Adam and I are talking about, like resetting the game 8 times to get the perfect fucking Scarlet gun. That XP no longer mattered, that you're just running yourself up to the next max level cap. Kind of like Destiny does, you know, a few months ago, something you were pissed about. Destiny releasing content, you couldn't actually access it yet. You grinded and you worked and you'd done everything that you had to do, and then they released the DLC and it's time gated. Like that, you know, and like people not really understanding that. So you feel like your opinion's not going to get across, but it's at the end of Bunkers and Badasses is when we enter what I would call the Borderlands malaise phase. Or lull if we don't want to use the $10 word, but malaise is fun. Let's call it malaise. In that we started getting a lot of mixed signals. Some of you may remember, some of you that have good memory. Well, remember, Randy Pitchford saying that they were going to add even more content to Borderlands 2, and what they were going to do was they were going to rework this, they were going to deepen the skill trees, deepen the progress, and add whole new ways to play. And like, they were just going to do this massive rework of Borderlands 2. You can probably still find that tweet. And so everybody was under the impression like, oh yeah, we're going to get Season 2. Remember, that was the big thing with Battleborn. Gearbox, maybe because of 2K, is not big on Season 2. They're big on Season 1, not so much Season 2. And what we got instead was the Headhunter packs. Now, the Headhunter packs, you can tell, were very small teams and were ultimately, you know, fan service. They were fan service, and they're okay. They add raid bosses, etc. Okay, I'm glad the Headhunter packs exist. But they obviously weren't what players were looking for. The player base, because everyone was still going hard. They had literally made, you know, a masterpiece, one of the greatest games ever made. And players wanted more because they had made a game that you could play the hell out of, like Diablo. People still play Diablo 2. That was Borderlands 2 for people. A lot of people, is they could turn it into a hobby. But there was, you know, starting to be this issue that there wasn't the content there, that people were starting to run the same shit. So they did the Headhunter packs. And they were okay, you know, the Grandma Torg was super controversial, and that's when you have Morning After Kill, Randy told him, like, fuck you and stuff. And it became a big to-do, which is just an early symptom of the clash between the gamers and the devs that's been happening for a few years. That it isn't healthy yet. I hope it gets to a healthy point. It's going to be... to my opinion, the PC culture thing is more of a distraction to the overall larger issue that gamers and developers have been having a tough time having good discussion lately. Good, even discussion. The devs don't feel respected. The players don't feel respected. Nobody's winning right now. Anyway, getting back to the point, no one knew what the future looked like, and Bungie was coming right around the corner with this very special thing. You know, they definitely had done another excellent job at marketing this thing. It was released on a supermoon, and first new IP from Bungie in a long time, top secret. 10-year journey, 10-year plan. It was going to rework everything. It was going to rewrite the playbook on shooters. Gearbox is really happy with the game in Borderlands 3 now, and I don't blame them. It looks like it's robust. Yeah, I think that's right. The level cap was 61, and we were already capped out, and so the DLC was in a weird place. So you were running through quests, but not getting any benefit. The Headhunter packs had fun Easter eggs. They added some end game, right? But they were super small, super shallow. All right, so Destiny comes out. Destiny obviously has really mixed reviews. It isn't quite the fucking greatest thing ever, like people imagine it's gonna be, but people went for the journey. I'm one of them. I didn't break off from that game until, you know, Destiny 2, but people were patient with it, and there was no word from Gearbox. Randy would sort of throw out some little quips here and there, like that he won't talk about the competition on Twitter, but they clearly didn't think much of Destiny. The problem is Destiny kind of was coming for Borderlands' ass. It was in many ways a combination of Halo and Borderlands, and has had a lot of success, and a lot of it deservedly so. And I think that Gearbox looks like they're being honest about that there's competition in the space now. They're not the only ones doing this, and the competition's pretty tough. Obviously Destiny and Division being the top two, but Warframe, and you know, we can go on. Need to get rid of this sniper. It's not really doing anything in here for us. So we then get the pre-sequel while Destiny is alive and well, and Destiny's starting to really find its feet. You know, you got the Trials of Osiris. The multiplayer was always fun. The Vault of Glass ended up being amazing. There starts to become this good loop, great gameplay loop. Always it was a super shooter and still is a super shooter. And pre-sequel just didn't look near as good. So pre-sequel got beat down by Destiny. I think that's kind of the last part of it. And it was really the final phase of the malaise, is that pre-sequel launched, it was hyped up, but had problems. Introduced a lot of good, which we've talked about before, but also had a shit ton of props. A lot of it was an asset flipped. A lot of the legendaries were not even reskinned, they were just put right back in. Which is fine, but if it's a brand new AAA game, then it's not okay. It's okay if it's an expansion. And then of course they did what I hope was we'll call, the bottom of this. The bottom was that Randy Pitchford saying you're adorable to Baru. Well, they nerfed farming, Jiba Jiba, whatever. And he was the only boss that would actually respawn. Which I don't think they ever actually added the farming patch. I sure as shit don't remember it. If they did. Maybe it's around. I sure hope it's around. But there were just so many problems from there on out. It was a bad season pass. 2 new characters is fine, but I think they should have been sold outside of the pass. But that ended up being the content. Is you had an Underdome, you had Handsome Jack, you had the Baroness, and then finally you had the only piece of story DLC, and then the canceled DLC, and shortly thereafter 2K Australia closes. So, in the meanwhile, Destiny has just found its legs. Now you got the Taken King out, and now it's just really a good game at that point. That has content that makes you want to play every day, and asks you to play every day, and make this your hobby. Actively, I'm looking for the right word. Encourages it. Yeah, it encourages that sort of ritual gameplay. And it didn't feel like Borderlands was doing that anymore. Obviously, Borderlands isn't going to be a live service game, and that's to its benefit, because there's a lot of bullshit that comes along with doing that, but... Upon revisiting Borderlands 2, that's one of the things I can find that I'm noticing as I sort of monotonously grind through the content, is that the Destiny did a lot of shit right. So much it did wrong, and there's a reason I'll never buy another Destiny game or another scrap of content from that franchise, but I want to know why the monotonous shooting felt more rewarding in Destiny at some point. At Taken King, namely. But maybe it's just because we're still on low-level content. Gearbox, didn't Randy say adding levels? We can add more levels, or we'll break the game. Yeah, now they're at level 80. He promises a lot of stuff on Twitter. Everybody's paying attention to the fact that they've said they're not going to add new Vault Hunters to Borderlands 3. And he said we're going to expand the original Vault Hunters. But the thing is, like, I wouldn't hold him to that. There's been some stuff that came true, but there's also been a lot of shit that didn't come true. Like when he said Borderlands would never be free to play, or Battleborn, which only added even more confusion. I really feel like he fucking helped kill that game. I can be a fan of the guy in many ways, but at the same time, I don't think he benefited Battleborn much. It actively hurt it in many ways. The Arendi Cum thing, it'll never be free to play, when that leaked. And then, you know, now it is free to play, but people think it's like a demo and shit. It's just... So I don't really take that 100%. That's why I say I would not be surprised if they add different Vault Hunters. Having new Vault Hunters is fun. It is fun. I'm totally up for expanding the original, like, heroes. That would be cool. I'd like to see how they do that. I think it could keep it fresh and interesting and add more build diversity. Are they actually going to do that? I don't know. I remember thinking they would do another season after the Headhunter on new consoles, but then we got pre-sequel. I remember Randy tweeting that that's exactly what they were going to do. They were going to just make the role-playing elements of it more complex, because that was one of the, like, another one of the big issues, is that you were getting to a point, because the skill trees were so set that outside of the monotonous farming, There was no role playing or like building or that shit was all gone. It was just go find the damn thing, go find the right gun, go kill the shit. Very similar to Borderlands 1 at the end. I mean, Borderlands 1 at the end is just about damage. And that's exactly what happens to this, but it's even worse. It's just, you need to just do a fucking ton of damage. And if you can do that, you've got a shot at making it through the content. Pre-sequel's able to fix some of that by introducing, you know, more mechanically rich features like stacks, but also like the Baroness having a contract, and that, you know, you play. Gage is a good example in Borderlands 2 of a much more interesting gameplay loop. You know, you got to maintain stacks of anarchy, you know, and your deathbot can be out longer if it gets kills. It can heal your buddies, and you've got to play a certain way. Now that's when Borderlands starts to get at its best, and that's when you can start to say like, hey, you're a really good Gage. Like, people will say you're a really good Victor, Adam, on Paladins. But it's hard to say that with, like, say, Sal. It's like, oh yeah, your Sal does a lot of damage. I notice your Lilith plays like every other Lilith. But then you get to Battleborn. See, I think that's why I'm not so worried. They seem to know what they're doing now. You get to Battleborn, and it's like, not everybody is an equally good Oscar Mike. You get to pre-sequel. Not everyone's an equally good Claptrap. He's not good at anything. Go taste your tears. What up, Dan? Should be in there, buddy. Appreciate you. What's up? We're trying to get the 100% achievement for doing all the quests in Borderlands 2. And we're going to beat the story, start playthrough 2, and then we're going to do some Apex Legends. That should give us a nice leap pad for tomorrow. This should be the last week we're on Borderlands 2. I'm going to do my best to try to make that happen. Oh god, I'm just going through knockdowns, up and down, up and down. How about you, Dan? What's up with you, man? How's the job hunt going? I think the last time we talked, you were on the hunt for a new job. Fucking plenty bored of these spiderlings. Open your mouth. Okay. Well, that's not good. Shit! Gotta start the whole fucking thing over. Prep cook at Top Golf. I know you really liked that job at first, but the last time we talked, you weren't liking it quite as much. Has it gotten a little better lately?
Between you and us, that thing that killed you is a total death.
Yeah.
Please disregard this message if you committed suicide.
The hell? Oh yeah, remember this. This is if you die, you can like help shoot down on stuff. Well, you know, Bonus points for optimism. Like players would be using those spaces. It's always disappointing when they don't. I remember being up there, you just like you can't hit shit. It's whatever. It's a job. I'm guessing you still want a new job. Hopefully we'll see Diamond today. I know I want to do that because we're like 5 points away, 6 points away, something like that. Alright, let's not die this time, because that's gonna really fucking slow us down.
Anybody from Hyperion asks? I just found these guys.
It's a fun singularity grenade. That was a good place for it. Oh, that's right. We got that legendary we just found. I think it was a chubby that dropped it. This place is probably worth like not letting in the later playthroughs, keeping around because it's had some really nice spawns, lots of chubbies and stuff. Might actually take a nap today. Dude, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. In my fucking neck of the woods, it's like napping weather. You gotta be careful with those naps, man. You get that sleep, like, you take them too long, it feels like you're fucking waking up, but you just only had like 2 hours of sleep. Get that groggy ass effect, it just ruins your day. The numbers don't lie, Senor Joe. With 375 and 2/10, which is 3.5. Multiplicative 1%. Yo, please. Oh, damn it. Not this again. Oh, shit. Fuck, man. Oh, we got really lucky there. That guy had nothing. Oh, don't you glitch out on me, game. Oh, it dragged it out of the wall. Hell yeah, singularity grenade for the win. Oh shit, it glitched right back into the fucking environment. Derp creamer. Let's go do Demon Hunter real quick, just so we can have Dukino running around. iOS Shadow, will it make it in? iOS Shadow, thank you for taking the red pill, seeing just how deep the rabbit hole goes. Welcome to reality, iOS Shadow. Thank you for that follow, man. Much appreciated. So much room for activities. Drop a legendary. I know those guys have a legendary in their pool. What the hell? All right, back to the fast travel station we go. Let's get the hell out of here. You know, I had a deep thought yesterday. I was looking at Adam's Twitter feed. I saw some of the crazy shit he's into. And I started observing, thinking, really pondering the questions. Make us all wonder. And I thought to myself, when I saw Riley Reid photo shoot, many of the different offerings available, one of her latest films, a little bit of fisting, occasional anal licking, they call it rimming, rim job, all kinds of stuff, a buffet. I thought to myself, you know what? She's the real magician. She's the real magician. Okay. And I've got an ego. I've got an ego. And I'm proud of that one. Oh my god, he's gun jerking! I wish Galt would just come out of the fucking roof. I just want something to... Someone's gotta change this up. Everyone I love is dead. classic, the classic tune here. Do I move faster when I gun Zerk? If so, not very much faster. The moon. I'm just gonna sell everything. That one I'll keep. Oh, 4 money shot. God damn. Let's not walk there. Jesus, let's not walk there. Let's use the fast travel that is at our disposal. So we can check our latest news. Oh, Eddie Murphy's returning to SNL, aka I need money and I've been out of work a long time. Bunch of digital Switch games 20% off at Target this week, which has also got like Disney themed shit in their stores now. Labor Day deals, Labor Day deals, Labor Day deals. Oh, we gotta read this one. Fallout 76's buggy new raid drags the game down further. Oh yeah, we gotta read that one. Is that what the kids are calling it these days? Just glad to have a purple. I mean, Jesus. Got ourselves a hero here. Welcome to die. Welcome to die. We'll do it live. I wish that's all we would have done. Just stared as it went to feed.
Remember I said that little skag mom must abandon it? Well, I think she found him again. I hear skag moms eat their young. You gotta take her out, man.
Damn. The Kino is huge. Holy crap. Forgot how big she was. Oh god. Oh man. Oh god. Oh man. Oh god. Oh man. Oh god. Oh man. Oh man. Oh god. Oh man. They're eating her. And then they're gonna eat me. Oh my god. This fight went. Oh, we actually almost killed that bitch. Oh my god. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten rid of every gun. Considering I think our slagger is like level 19 now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How about this though? Let's put on our B. I think the B's gonna do it. Tell you what, let's step this punk rock party up a notch. Let's go ahead and put on the auspicious raider for that 4+ money shot. And I'm gonna think that it'd be with pretty much fucking anything, as long as we hit a good old-fashioned money shot. Ought to do the job. Our fucking shield will come back. Damn. Recharge time is that. The delay is terrible. I mean, we have not been shot. Dude, she just does a lot of damage. But she's basically Skagzilla 2.0. Finally. I think it was glitching out. Oh, yeah.
Good job saving little Skag buddy, man. I
Hey.
think logistically that makes you and your mom or something.
So I kind of wish we were anything outside of the damn golden chest was giving us some loot. Oh, I do Kino. So sorry about killing your mom, dog. This gun's just got a cool model. We're almost there. We're almost there. Well, we got this. Then the Iridium Blight shit. Iridium Blight shit, as we come into the final phase of the Iridium Blight shit, we'll do the final Slaughter Dome. And then go beat the game. Oh shit, Von Hilger. Look at that. Oh man, 1 month away from a year. Look at you. Beast mode. Pure and simple. Beast mode. The artist. The artiste himself conquering the world of art. We get some next. Hype up in the chat, please. Wah, he says. You're a beast, Von Hilger. Von Hilger's a affiliated streamer here on Twitch. He streams a lot of interesting games. He's a hardcore gamer himself. He's also very artistic, very talented, very interesting, smart person. Very, very, very smart, intellectual. Von Hilger, you've continued to fight the war. You've continued to fight the resistance, and you become more human than a human. Stage 11. 11! 11! You're a beast. You are 1 month away from a year, Von Hilger. And that, sir, is a very fine job indeed, and I'm looking forward to that 12-month badge on you. Thank you for being here, Von Hilger. Like I said, check out Von Hilger. He is a streamer and a good one. And a good one. I'm so dang happy about it. So now I can stream again. Were you out of town? I didn't know you were traveling. I thought I hadn't seen you for a while. Were you traveling? Going back into Lynchwood so we can fast travel. BioShock 2, that's right. I remember you were doing that playthrough. You're pretty close to being done with it as well, aren't you? If I remember correctly. I think the last time we talked, you were saying you were getting pretty close. I was watching, oh, that's right, dog sitting. Dog sitting. Watched it for a whole 2 months in a row. Damn. You've been busy. You've been busy. The internet there was so bad that all attempts at a normal life failed normal life. First world problems. I didn't finish it tonight. I think I'll finish it next week. So you're going to stream tonight then? You're going to stream tonight. That'll be good. That'll be exciting. That'll be exciting.
Almost dead? I can fix this.
Quickly, let me touch this button. That won't do anything. Let me turn this knob. Let me screw this.